Hi, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Shark Tank After Show. This is Season 8, Episode 4. We'll be discussing Soulmates, the Atlantic Candy Company, Beam, Angels and Tomboys, and so much more. Don't go away.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I love this music.
Yes.
It gets me so excited for the show.
It does. It's very scary, though.
Yeah,
Ominous, too.
ominous.
Yes,
Well,
ominous.
I think it is if you are one of the people, the entrepreneurs, about to start pitching.
Or if you were Cameron who got eaten by a shark.
Apparently, so you guys might be wondering, where is Cameron Lewis? He is not here with us tonight. He's sorry not to be here, but we will be holding down the fort. You'll also see a new face at our table who will be joining us. But to start with, I'm Zoe Hewitt. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's Zoe Said What. And sitting to my left.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't call her Chloe. And if you saw the video footage this week of the shark that actually broke through the cage, did you see that? There's a
No.
shark that broke through a cage diving, and there was a diver still in there. That was Cameron. So I think we're hoping he's well. No, that didn't really happen, but it did. It actually did go in. But I'm Chris Howard. You can reach me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram, and over to our lovely new co-host.
Yes. And just don't call me Candace, call me Constance. I'm not just a panelist, I am a fan of these crazy guys here. Constance Dunn, you can reach me at Instagram, Constance Dunn, Twitter, and Constance Dunn as well.
Yay!
Well, kicking this episode off, I'm so excited about this first product because I am pretty sure I've actually seen it in the store before. So it's called Soulmates. The two who are pitching it were Monica and Becca. They were asking for $500,000 in exchange for 10% of the company, and these were basically pieces that you could put on the bottom of women's high-heeled shoes so that you don't sink into the grass. Now, Chris, did you feel like you couldn't get behind this product just because you're a guy?
Yeah, no. Whenever I wear high heels, like I do get stuck in the grass. No, I know that there's a need for this because I know women's shoes get stuck in cracks and crevices and wherever they can. I'm just curious because one of the sharks had mentioned at one point that, and I think it was Lori, that a lot of women will just wear flats and that type of thing. But how often do women wear high spikes like that, those types of spike heels? Is that something that's really common where you wear them all the time?
Yeah, I live in them. And I was just at their pitch, I was going, yes, because I would buy those yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I cannot tell you, especially as someone, I went to USC, which is a lot of cobblestones. Cobblestones are pretty, but you will be swearing under your breath because I would run onto campus running late, of course, with my high heels, and I'd be just, it would look hilarious because the spikes would be in the cobblestones and I'd be going, so I thought this was a great idea.
I think grass is difficult, yeah. And I loved that they had shoes for everyone to try, including the guys.
That was cool. I would have tried them on in a heartbeat. You know, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is coming up pretty soon. Here it is for Halloween, and I played Dr. Frankenfurter in that at one point, so I got pretty good at walking in the spiky shoes. I swear to God.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Something new.
I'm not bad. Okay. So I got pretty good at walking in the spiky shoes, and it's quite fun. But I guess when you're a woman, you have to do it. So you don't have to, but it's part of what goes along with it. So I definitely saw the need for the product. The more they started talking about it, it was like, yeah, there's going to be women that want these. My big question was, what do they look like? Because if they affect the look,
Right.
I can't imagine people using them if they really affected the look. So I don't know what y'all thought about that.
I mean, I thought they did a little bit. If you have a really expensive pair of shoes, do you really want to cover them up? But on the flip side, do you really want to sink into the grass? I don't know.
Right. See, that's the thing. I loved the idea until I saw them on the shoe. Because particularly if very high-end spikes, they're like sculptures. You know, there's a lot that is put into the profile. I mean, they're really exquisite. That's
They're
part of the
beautiful. Yeah,
exactly.
they're exquisitely.
And it breaks the line, I thought. With the
Right.
black ones, you know, the black on black shoe, it's okay, but then you start getting into the clear ones, and I thought that was the drawback.
Right, the
for me.
clear on the beige looked weird for
Yeah.
me, but the black on black looked like, yeah, you know what, that could really work. But I do get what you're saying because they are, you know, I'm a connoisseur of women's shoes. I like women's shoes, so and you know, I do.
Last week you wanted to be an expert on bathing suits.
Bathing suits.
This
I
week
was
you want to
not
be an
an
expert
expert.
on women's shoes. I just feel like you're Constance. Now I have another woman here, and you're trying to like steal our thunder.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I'm saying I I know a beautiful woman. It's huge. It's huge. No, I can't do Donald Trump. I tried.
Is that what that was?
It was going to be, but I couldn't do the accent. So,
Are you a keen observer of shoes?
thank you.
Okay,
That's what I'm trying to
okay,
say. Yeah.
So you observe and appreciate that.
I observe. What else are you going to look at? You know. It's like, no, I thought that I know that a woman isn't going to want it if it really takes away from the look that much.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're shopping for shoes to accentuate your look, and I know it's a problem too, and more of a problem than Lori made out, because she was making out like it wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I mean, Lori went out immediately. She said it's not a big enough problem. Then after that, Mark said that they didn't add up. He didn't trust them, it seemed like.
You know what's funny? They were slick. They were Goldman Sachs gals. They were smart, and their pitch was smooth. They had it done, but there was a bit of a problem because their profit, it was only $30,000, and their sales, they had done a lot of sales. And when he asked them, and I know it's edited, but he asked him, well, where did the rest of the money go?
It was 600 grand roughly, right?
Yeah, right. And and they were like, well, websites, graphic designers, and he was like, yeah, sayonara.
And I thought I caught that they also paid themselves a lot. Did you guys catch that?
80.
I wasn't.
80
okay.
each.
Yeah.
So I felt like that's a lot of money considering they're
For
a startup.
Usually, maybe, I mean, people pay themselves 50, 60 typically, I think, in a startup just to keep it really lean. I mean, it totally depends. If you were coming from a lifestyle that needed to be supported, like if they came from Goldman Sachs, depending on what type of position they had, if their lifestyle was already built up to the necessity of 80 grand, it wouldn't be a travesty that they paid themselves 80 grand.
Right.
And it could be Manhattan gals too. So 80
Right.
grand. There's
Doesn't
like
go
what,
far.
30 in Kansas.
Yeah, it's true.
True,
Yeah.
but still, I feel like they need to get behind their product and
I
not take the
see.
profits, especially when they're asking for $500,000. But they did get an offer. Robert offered them the $500,000, but for 25%. And then Kevin also went in. He offered them $100,000 for 10%, but then the additional $400,000 as a loan.
Right.
Right.
But then they did counter, and they asked Robert if he'd go to 20, and they wound up with a deal with Robert. So
And Robert pointed out too that what Kevin was offering was ludicrous, would be really stupid for them,
Right.
and he was 100% right.
Yeah.
So he did stand up for them in that case. To be encumbered with $400,000 worth of debt would
Right.
just do a business owner in a small
And
business.
try to
owner.
service
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I imagine there's something to be said for when you're trying to service that amount of debt. It also adds a certain psychic pressure
Oh,
as an
for sure,
entrepreneur.
yeah.
It suddenly becomes not fun if you're laboring under that amount of stress. So.
Yeah, really not fun.
really, really
Anybody
not fun.
that's that's got
Right.
that kind of
Yeah.
debt that they're
Exactly.
under.
Yeah.
And they had raised, though, just under $1 million from their friends, even. So they already had a lot that they needed to pay back. And maybe that's where some of their profit went, if they started to pay people back.
I kind of doubt it, just because of the way that they phrased it. It's like they're like, it's like, they probably would have been, because they knew their numbers up until that point, and then it just seemed like a big pit at the at what was left.
Right.
It was just weird.
$1.1 million in sales. And it's interesting that you said something about trust. Or did you say he didn't like them? Is that what you
That's
said?
what Mark said. He said it didn't add up for them. He didn't seem to trust them.
Right, and that's what I got the same vibe. And then when you're saying the same thing, they were really smooth and slick until
Right.
up to that point.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the money from? Is that what you
Right, yeah, it was like, well, where did it all go? And
Yeah, where did it
You
go?
know,
Where'd you raise it?
there's so many different things that a business can spend money on. Maybe they should have had a breakdown. I don't know. I probably, if you're going into the Shark Tank, you probably want to have all your numbers done and say, here we spent money on this, this, and this, and if we had extra money, here's how we spend it, and this is where we'd wind up with a larger profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just have
See, I love tips and tricks, man.
Tips and
I love
tricks.
them.
There you go.
I'm going to be taking notes.
Well, hey,
Seriously.
before we move on to the next product, I know it's your first time with us, Constance,
Yeah.
so we do like a buy or sell, in or out.
Yeah.
So, are you in or out for Soulmates? Would you invest?
I wouldn't, oddly enough. I was so jazzed organically about the concept, about the premise, and I thought that there was a market there. But that little situation, it seemed a little problematic with the spending at this juncture. I don't know.
Okay.
Yep. I think I like them, and I think there is a market, and I'd probably say in on this, but I'd want a larger percentage because they were really holding out for the smaller. And the other sharks said that too. They said, "Oh, you should have held out for 30." I think you should have held out for 30. If it was 500K for 30%, I think I'd say in.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm in, but I feel like there has to be a lot that's tweaked in this, that they're
Right.
not making quite enough. But I think also because I feel like I've seen these in the store and maybe I'm imagining it, that makes me want to be in even more. Although, admittedly, I didn't buy them.
Maybe it
And they
was
were
a dream.
smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They clearly, and they were invested emotionally and in a lot of ways. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, well, 2 ins, 1 out.
I'm just a cheap SOB.
There you
so there
go.
you go. It takes a lot to
That's
get me to go down
Perfect
board.
addition to our
Yeah.
panel.
Exactly.
You guys throwing money everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's, obviously it's money that's not real. If
Speak for yourself, Chris Howard Live.
Chris Howard live.
Okay, Chloe.
So
It's
our
an
next-
inside joke.
Oh, okay.
Chris has been calling me Chloe since like he started with the panel.
2
last
seasons.
season.
I've been calling her
Yeah,
Chloe.
yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
Zoe, just so everybody knows.
So our next product up was the Atlantic Candy Company. Jared was there. He was asking for $1 million for 10%.
$1
so
million.
I know. And so
inflation.
basically what this company is that his father, his family owns a candy company, a chocolate company, and he's coming in particular because they have a patent for a specific type of chocolate that's legal in other countries. It's not legal here except
Kinder
for with
eggs,
this
right? Kinder.
specific
Did I say
transplant.
that right? Kinder eggs.
Yes, that's what the
Europe.
other ones are
Have you seen
called.
these?
I haven't seen them. So this product is basically if you open up the chocolate, you can hide toys or anything inside. Basically, it's sort of like a Cracker Jack box but made of chocolate.
Right.
So, would you eat this?
Have you seen these in stores?
Yes. Now remember, his patent was what made it different because it's not allowed
Right.
in the U.S.
Right.
But the chocolates don't touch. I got really into
Right.
that detail.
It's basically around
That's-
plastic.
Yeah, that's the word.
It's around container. Yeah.
Yes.
Right, and then inside there's 2 chocolate halves, but the toy is in the middle, and the chocolates never touch. Because
It's kind of like in the old I Love Lucy show where they would sleep in the bed together. They had to hang one leg on either side so you knew that they weren't touching in the
Yes.
bed. So that's
Interesting.
there you go. Write that down. That's a tip.
Yeah,
No, but-
as long.
That's right.
But I used to see these all over the place in Australia and in London. So yeah, they are in other. They're in stores in other markets and stuff, and people like them. They buy them a lot.
Wow.
I wouldn't. It did nothing for me. But they had them right, like they were right at the register when you went to go check out. They had these candies everywhere, so they must have been moving. For me, I was never a fan of it. So I just don't like the. I don't like the. It doesn't do anything for me.
Okay.
So it's not like
don't
a
wanna-
birthday every time you open one.
Yeah, he said it's like
You
a
don't want a
birthday every
toy?
time you open it. Isn't that a little bit over the top?
See, I thought it looked like fun. I haven't
Kids
seen
love
these
these,
Kinder
yeah,
Eggs,
yes.
which would be the
Yeah.
number one competitor to these.
Okay,
Because
so-
Kinder Egg is not made by this company. This
It's
isn't
not?
where the patent is. This is the competition.
Okay, I'm looking this sucker up.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
They were talking about that's the one that's all over Europe.
Right.
And so
This
they're-
is the U.S. one.
right.
Really?
And they have,
Yeah.
their product has been licensed in Europe, but not for Kinder Egg. That's the number one.
So this is okay. So
seller
that's the
there.
number one competitor. So
Yeah.
these aren't even Kinder eggs.
No.
Oh, I'm out.
It's the same as Kinder Egg.
Yeah, shit.
I think it seems neat. I mean, I loved Cracker Jack when I was little, and still once in a while I'll get a box because it's fun to see what's inside. The only thing I didn't get is the plastic always in there so that the pieces don't touch, or was that just part of the display they showed us? Because I thought the plastic was always there,
Oh, let me think.
which is why the chocolate doesn't touch, which is why
there was
now
like a
it's
little.
legal.
There was a ridge around it, right? And so the whole thing was to get around the U.S. law that you couldn't have anything embedded in chocolate.
Right. And that was because in-
non-embedded.
Yeah.
And that was because in, I think it was 1939, they put metal things in chocolate bars and people
And
were breaking
kids were
teeth.
choking on them,
Which
yeah.
makes sense. They were breaking teeth on metal toys.
Right.
But I think that this is just chocolate around plastic. And the plastic stays. That's what I understood. Did you understand it differently?
That's interesting because you could be right about that, right? Because so the chocolate covers the plastic thing. You eat
Yeah.
the chocolate
Yeah.
off, then you open up the
Yeah.
plastic thing, and which if that's what it is,
It's a little anticlimactic.
yeah, it's totally anticlimactic. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
Yeah.
a toy and chocolate.
yeah, but that's like it's a gum and candy, right? Like Razzles. Yeah, I like Razzles though. Razzles are better.
Or a blow pop or a Tootsie Pop. You get like a
Right.
bonus. See,
Right.
how am I the only one who's really into this?
Blow pops are pretty good.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
And who's gonna buy it? It's probably adults for kids.
Right.
I'd buy it yesterday.
Yes.
right? Because you're thinking you're getting like
Do you
a
have kids?
twofer. No.
No.
But you just get something fun.
For a little kid, if I had to buy
For
a gift.
yourself.
Oh, or that. In my car.
See, that's you thinking. Yeah.
But Fantasy Stats Guru is in the chat with
Thank
us again.
God.
Thank you. And Fantasy Stats says that he thinks the toys are never worth the cost of the candy, but he has seen them in Germany and Europe. They're big around Christmas.
Never.
So the big question is, would you buy them here in the U.S.? Because it sounds like I'm the only one out of the three of us here.
The
who
toys
would.
in Cracker Jacks are pretty good though. Like they have the little, they're almost like, if I remember correctly, they had like the little pads that you could lift and you write things on. Yes. I mean, it's really cool shit, right? It's like, but I don't know what are in these eggs. I think in the eggs they put little figurines and
No,
little,
anything can
yeah,
go.
no, but what I'm saying is the toys always were not that great in these little eggs. I
That's
think I
what
may have,
Fantasy-
yeah. Fantasy Stats, I'm with you. And yeah, I'm trying, I don't want to research because I have yet to master the art of connecting with the audience and simultaneously researching. But I am curious if this, I thought this was Kinder Eggs. I thought this was the company that owned Kinder Eggs. I'd love if somebody could tell me the definitive answer on whether it's just a competitor.
I think it was the competitor.
Yeah, and they're contract manufacturers, so they actually manufacture these for other people. I remember there was the big issue with the patent. So the sharks really liked the idea. There was just logistical issues
Right.
with the patent.
That's right,
Rush
because
to
it runs
market.
out
In
in
2
2 years.
years.
So they only have a year and a half before they have those orders and have also.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. And if in fact, see, I still think they might be Kinder Eggs, but if in fact, I do, Fantasy Stats will tell us.
Yes, Fantasy Stats.
But if they're not Kinder Eggs, then Kinder Eggs are going to come in and kick their ass in 2 years.
Well, that's
yeah,
what I
which
say.
they said that other competition could come in anyway,
Right.
but the Kinder Eggs would be the legit competition to come in and do it. you
And
know?
they already know what to do.
Yeah, ha ha ha, we got it.
And
You had that little plastic line.
Yeah, they were ready to pounce. And Damon talked about them not really having the retail experience because, again, contract manufacturers are not used to doing retail, which is a totally different animal.
Yeah.
And they don't have that network, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
So I liked Jared. I felt bad for him, man.
He seemed like a nice, and he was young, and he kept blowing the pitch, right?
Oh,
he
he
kept
was so nervous.
stalling, and the nerves in the way. I was happy that the Sharks kind of said, "Hey, you're doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Very
Keep going."
sweet.
They were good
Yeah.
coaches for that.
Yeah,
reason.
because sometimes they're not, and they
Right.
were gentle with him, and I liked that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, Mark is pretty good on that. He's like, "Come on, you're doing great." Like he has a little bit of humanity in him, not
Right.
like Kevin.
I
We
still
love
like
you too.
Kevin.
I know
I
Kevin.
know, I like Kevin too.
I feel like there's someone nice under there, and it's business.
Somebody last week said that Mr. Wonderful's not looking so wonderful. It was your friend,
Wait, I have a friend. Who said
Wally
that?
Amos.
Oh, famous Amos.
Famous Amos contacted
Your
her.
bro.
That's
Were
right.
you going to save that for an
I was
intermission or something? Did I blow
gonna
it?
save the big news.
I stole your thunder?
So I did hear from Wally Amos of Famous Amos, who we saw last week on this show, and he is supposedly sending us some cookies. So of course
Yes.
we will have them when they do arrive. But in answer to the question, at least of last week as
Right.
well, of did he lose the rights to his name? The answer is he said yes, he did. He's in a battle right now to try and get the rights back.
Yeah.
So
And I got that because I had, in my own company, I had almost lost the rights to my name because my name was trademarked and we had it in a separate holding entity in a separate company. And they could have come after, but they've done too much nasty stuff to dare to come after me about that. So, I didn't lose the rights to my name, thank God. But I understand that, and that's tough for Wally Amos. So if you're watching Wally, God bless you. And the Cookie Kahuna. I studied with a kahuna, with a Hawaiian kahuna, which is the magic medicine men inside the Hawaiian tribes.
Really?
Yeah, I studied
I didn't know
ancient
that's what it was.
Hawaiian
Yeah,
huna. Huna is the spiritual system of the Hawaiians, and I studied with a kahuna out there, and he looked just like Wally Amos. He was wearing the same kind of garb and the colors and stuff like that. So Wally, we're kindred spirits. Yeah. Send us some cookies. He's a neat guy.
I love that.
Team Wally over here.
Yeah, sorry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And before we in or out, the only other thing that I had noticed that I wanted to mention is, did it stand out to you guys when Jared called the Sharks boys and girls? Because it was at the very beginning of his pitch, and I thought,
Hey, boys and
ooh,
girls.
that's a misstep. That
How
just made me
old
feel
was he?
uncomfortable.
How old was he?
It doesn't matter how old he was.
No,
I
I
thought
know,
it was
but he
an
was just a
uncomfortable
young kid.
misstep.
But it is
was.
weird that he'd say, "Hey, boys
Yeah.
and girls."
Yeah, maybe it was a nervous thing, maybe?
Yeah, probably his nerves are in the way, and it sounded like he had practiced it over and over again. And okay, I'm going to say, "Hey, boys and girls," because I'm selling candy. He was probably
It was a
trying to enter
stretch,
into
yeah.
that. That was part of his pitch.
And you know what? This does underscore the idea that entrepreneurs must be so many things at once, and including this pitch, which is really kind of an entertainment background type of thing. Like it involves some kind of training on the art of delivering the pitch.
The art of the pitch.
The art of the pitch.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a whole presentation to it. How do you deliver the information, the order and sequence, all that stuff.
And to have that ease that, you more seasoned entrepreneurs tend to have.
And I think if you're an entrepreneur anyway, that's part of it. You have to sell your product.
Right.
All
This
the
is
time.
part of it, whether or not you're on TV in front of millions of
You're
people.
constantly raising money. You're either selling to raise the money, or you're raising money to. They say that's the key job of the CEO is to make sure that there's enough funds for your business.
Yeah. Business
Yeah.
people are the rock stars of today, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So.
Well, okay, finally now, before
Finally.
we're in or out, because I know I just said that. Fantasy Stats has an answer. He says, no, it is not Kinder Eggs, it is a competitor. Similar to the old school Wonder Balls, but those had a different type of candy, and I don't know what a Wonder Ball is.
Nor
dude.
do I.
Thank you, Fantasy Stats.
Thank you
Wonder
for that info,
Balls.
for
Fantasy
looking at
Stats.
Wonder
Yes.
Balls.
Now you'll have to tell us what Wonder Balls
Yeah,
are.
word of the day for sure. Right there.
Okay, so Constance, are you in or out?
I'm out only just because the logistical boring issues that have to do with rush to market and them not being so involved in the retail aspect. So
Candace teaches branding at UCSB. She does.
Candace, it's Constance.
Constance.
Who teaches
Shit.
branding?
She said, "Don't call me Candace."
Okay.
I call her Chloe.
I thought that's why I wasn't sure. Are you doing it as a joke or do you mean it? And I paused and I was like, I'm pretty sure you
It was
mean
a
it.
joke, no, because of the candy, Candace. Okay, anyway, no, yes, it was. No, it's just my age, I guess.
no, it isn't. Everybody does it, and I think it's cute.
Okay.
And the best one ever was when I was sitting in a beautiful restaurant in Santa Monica with a guy I had been dating for a while, and he goes, "Can I touch
Yeah, you could touch.
Candace?" I was dying.
Did you say yes?
I was like, my face got all red, and I was just like, I was like in my 20s, so I was all like sad, but I just realized.
Did you say yes or no?
Oh, no. He was
Were you in or out?
I was out. Like the night it was like water was dumped on the night. Like,
I'm sorry.
It's cool. It's cool.
Okay, Constance teaches at UCSB. Is that it? Yeah,
yes, I do.
teaches branding. That's kind of cool. We had some.
So
somebody had to be the brains here on the panel of us,
no.
But
No, insult yourself.
yeah, speak for yourself. Yeah.
You're so interesting and smart. It's why I watch every darn week.
Thank you. I'm totally out on this. And even if they were Kinder Eggs, I was still out.
And I'm out as well. And just like Constance, it's purely because of the timing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fun concept. I would buy one. I would play with it. Like, don't need to get it for anyone else. I think it looks like fun, but the timing is just
Right.
very poor.
Yeah, but I give kudos to Jared for going out there and raising. Like his dad was back managing the plant.
Yeah.
He came out here to raise the capital if he could. And way to go, because it's one of many pitches that he'll be doing in the future. So.
Yeah.
Right, and
That's right.
As contract manufacturers, when that patent does come up, and let's just say your homeboys Kinder Egg come in and get the market, maybe they'll be the contract manufacturers for it. Maybe they'll be making
right.
more money,
Right.
less stress, less risk. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise.
That is a very good way to
Listen
look
to
at
this.
it.
She's all over it. She
So
says, I
true.
like tips. And, yeah.
So coming up next, we have Beam, spelled B-I-E-M, but pronounced Beam. Doug was here. He wanted $500,000 for 5%.
Yes.
The percentages are getting lower and lower this episode. It's basically a spray butter. That's the long and the short of what this product is.
Now, did either of you get the difference between, because there must have been the big differentiator between just regular spray butter and sticking an actual butter cube in this machine?
I had the same thought. I feel like this exists, and I think it's the I can't believe it's not butter. It's some off-brand. This
Right.
one is just not chemical.
So it's not a real butter, right?
I think that's the only difference, is that this is actual butter, and actual butter can't be, I guess, like softened that way, which is why you
Right.
need this machine which softens it. But it seemed I don't get how it works. You put it in this tube, and he said it only softens as much as you need. How does it know how much you need?
Did
Maybe
you,
it has special powers.
Stick it in the special power tube.
I didn't understand how it would know.
I'd pay $150 for that. I think it retails for $143 or something.
Is that what it
like
was?
that. Something.
$137.
Yeah.
Wait, but it was $1.37, not $137.
No, not for the machine.
Retail.
To make the machine
$1.37.
$1. No.
I thought he says that the cost was $1.37 and it cost him 43 cents. because he said
Oh.
specifically 43 cents.
$43,
I think you're-
No, he said cents specifically.
Oh, okay, sure, okay, then wow.
No.
Yes,
Hold
yes,
on.
yes.
Let's see.
On the store shelves, it's $1.37. It costs him 43 cents.
No, because remember it was made of stainless steel, and she said, "Could you make it cheaper?" And he
Yeah.
said that if and it's not our fault; it's Cam's fault. But
It's all Cam's fault.
I wrote down the cost was and I think the confusion is that he said 137, which I thought was ambiguous, but then he followed up by it costs him 43
no,
cents.
you couldn't make a product in stainless steel like that for that small.
That'd be
You know what?
awesome.
Fantasy Stats Guru.
Fantasy Stat says Chris should be a construction worker for how many holes he digs himself into.
That's really good.
No, I'm just asking for help. Can you check those prices for us? Because that's not possible. You could not construct for how many holes I dig myself into.
It wasn't stainless steel though.
But
They were saying they could make one.
they could make
like
one
an
that was
high-end
cheaper.
one.
No, that was the high end one.
No.
Oh,
They were
pot-
saying they could do a high-end stainless steel
We're
one.
soon gonna find out.
Yes, Fantasy Stats. We definitely need
But
you
in
then.
the meantime, I think it's a great idea, and I think it really is part of that whole
butter warmer.
Epicurean wave, because you're not going to use it's not butter or whatever, because I think it's the
chemicals,
perception, perhaps
Right,
not the
or
reality,
chemicals,
is
yes, it could be.
alleged that the
Yes.
perception is
Alleged.
alleged to perhaps not have a Whole Foods type of butter situation.
I like the movement that I think that's how the
Yeah.
butter warms inside the thing. This whole
I touch it. And it knows.
The only other thing I didn't get, so sometimes I make, microwave popcorn at home,
Right.
and he said the issue is that it's soggy. Well, that's what I do. I take butter, I microwave it till it's liquid, and then I pour it on. So how is
Well,
this
you do it the intelligent way.
different?
You don't
Wow.
put the butter on the popcorn.
What, solid? No, you wouldn't put it on solid.
You know, well, I worked. Let me tell you though, this is a true story. I worked in a movie theater when I was young.
Me too!
Did you really?
Yes.
Wow, what did you do? What was your
lucky.
job?
I worked in concessions and I worked in the box office.
Me too, and I was also a projectionist.
I did that for a short bit.
Really?
Yeah.
That
I
is
feel
so
like
cool.
everyone does that in high school.
Power.
No, it was the coolest
Power.
job in high school because
It
then
was
you just
so
got to
fun.
watch all the movies, right?
Yes.
So, but to that point, did you guys have the butter that was like the butter turns to rubber if it sits for too long?
What?
Yes, the butter stuff that they put on the popcorn in the movie theaters. If it sits for too long, it'll actually rubberize.
Our butter didn't do that.
You didn't leave it in the right conditions.
Perhaps she worked at a superior establishment of cinematography.
I'm telling you, man, this stuff turned to rubber.
What theater chain did you work for?
I'm not going to say that because then I'm going to get sued or something. And then you're going to think that's great.
Allegedly.
I'll be allegedly
Oh.
the alleged butter that turned to rubber. Yeah,
Fantasy Stats.
I have been.
You might have been vindicated.
Vindicated, yes. Thank you
Fantasy
for the
Stats
word.
says you are right. The price is over $120 retail online, so it's probably made for $43.
Yeah.
So maybe
Thank you, Fantasy Stats.
thank you. I must have heard cents because I didn't imagine that anyone would actually pay
sh-
over $100 for
He
this
just
butter
filled
container.
my hole. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so you retired from construction to architecture?
No, I'm
Just
back
for
in the
now.
movie theaters for a
Okay,
while. Yeah.
the rubber
With the rubber
movie
butter.
theater, rubber butter.
My mind is blown. Who would
About
pay over $120 for a butter warmer?
That's the point.
Dude, if it was $1.40, I'd have like 20. I'd have a huge shopping cart filled with them.
For $1.20, yeah, shit.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Everybody would get butter warmers for
I'd
Christmas.
be selling it at the swap meet, man.
Who is paying this much money?
People that are into Epicurean
Yeah,
experiences.
there you go.
Even Sur La Table is not as expensive.
What?
Sur La Table, that's the high-end
I thought it was very
cooking.
expensive.
It is expensive, but I'm saying I can't even imagine.
Table.
It's not pronounced Sur La Table.
It's French.
Okay, apparently everyone
Sur La
pronounces
Table.
it differently. Well, however you want to pronounce it, this store is high-end and expensive,
Yeah.
but I can't even imagine that they would sell
I
a butter
see what
warmer
you're
for that
saying.
much money, is what I'm saying. And everything there is so expensive
right, it is
anyway,
a
and I
lot.
can't even imagine this butter warmer.
Maybe they have like a little person in there that actually warms the butter for you.
It's psychic butter. I mean,
Psychic
just
butter.
think you'd be like this. You just, with your microwavable popcorn, forget having to do the other step. You would just go like this and it would psychically know. You would pick it up.
No, because it has to warm
You've said
up
psychic a
first,
couple
too.
of times,
your
but I just don't
hand.
get the connection with butter.
Because the butter doesn't know. He says that the butter warms the exact amount you need. How
Also,
does the
there's an
butter
actual
know?
intelligence to butter, is what we're saying.
Well, he says
I don't
that's
think
what
so.
when you pick up the beam, it knows how much warm, creamy, liquidious butter to pour all over your
because
stuff.
of the psychic nature of the butter. But this person likes it rich.
Of the beam.
All I can imagine is that what he actually means is when you put it out of your hand, it stops warming butter. That's all I can imagine, which is how he says you don't overwarm.
Oh, okay, that's it.
That it's somehow the heat from your hand tells it to start working. That you
Okay.
remove your hand, it stops. So you
Oh
gotta
yes,
stop.
he said it turns on when you pick it up. It's motion
Right.
sensitive.
Right.
It's not psychic.
I am the queen of hyperbole. Soon learn this about me.
Fantasy Stat says to tell you, Chris, fill your own hole with that rubber butter.
Fill my own hole with that rubber butter. Can we quote you on that? I think that's like the nicest thing anybody said to us of our entire 2 fans.
Oh, stop it.
Thanks, Fantasy Stat.
We had actually, there were a lot of offers on this.
Right.
We had Damon, who offered the $500,000, but he wanted 17.5%. Kevin offered $500,000 for 15%. Lori offered $600,000 for 20%, which made it a $3 million valuation versus what Kevin and Damon had offered, which was the $3.3 million. And then Robert at $500,000 for 10%. And then they all started jockeying around again. And suddenly they all said they would match Kevin. They're all saying, well, we'll match up.
It got a little combative, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
So then Damon really got upset
Yeah.
that he wasn't
Damon
wanted.
was the one. He
removed
was
his
like-
offer
He
immediately.
was annoyed.
He was annoyed.
He's like, are you going to say anything to me?
Yeah,
Like,
he
basic-
was really,
Yeah.
he was annoyed by it. So basically, it turned out that he took the deal with Lori at $500,000 for 14%.
I think that was
end.
probably the wise choice because Lori has QVC, which I could imagine the selling through QVC.
No, I do not imagine on QVC people are going to pay over $120 for a butter warmer.
You're still getting over the shock of
Yes,
the.
I'm in shock.
You was where did you get $2? Like I mean, it'll
Because it cost $137, they said, so it didn't occur to me he meant $137.
It's 1,037. That's what it really was,
He
Zoe.
said 137, and they did all talk about how expensive it was, and I thought, that's not expensive
you
for
can't
butter.
even you couldn't even buy the butter for that.
So can I ask
Yeah.
something? Because Doug's still here. Doug was a seasoned entrepreneur. He was the guy behind
Yes.
Guiltless Gourmet, which is if you ever were at like a hippie party and you
So you
thought
know
you were
this.
going to get really nice nacho chips, tortilla chips, really wonderful, and you'd get a Guiltless Gourmet, and it's like it was not as fun. It was Guiltless Gourmet. Did you ever?
It was not
did you
as
ever-
fun.
I'm like worried about getting about insulting Guiltless Gourmet. They were a great health
So
alternative.
you know the company
Very
right?
well. I know Guiltless Gourmet
It sounded
very well because I've
familiar.
been to many a party where you put your hand and you think it's going to be a good old tortilla chip, and it's a Guiltless Gourmet tortilla chip, which is a different profile.
Does it look different? It just tastes different.
Yes, because it's very healthy.
Very healthy.
You get what I'm saying here?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're laying down.
You get what I'm laying down.
Yeah.
You're just different. So if
Yeah. Okay. So
it's not a
Ow,
big
I totally-
potato chip. It's
tastes like cardboard. Yeah. Okay.
These are not
Just
so
kidding,
bad.
Doug. Just kidding.
Guilt-
These still
Gourmets?
exist, and I have had these. He has not owned them for a long, long time, so
What
Doug
is
is not
this?
involved. These Guiltless Gourmet.
yeah.
look.
He sold. He got.
I'm sure you've
sold.
had these.
Oh, like blue corn chips.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not cardboard. It's like I've,
They make
I've seen
lots
those.
of things. It looks like.
Their
So anyway,
origin was like.
So he's a seasoned
Yeah.
business
Yes,
person
a
who's
food.
done a lot. So which says a lot about his ability to launch something and make
Right.
it successful.
especially in
Yes.
the sector.
We know it's not $2. I didn't see that there was this huge market for butter warmers, but to your point about the sur la table,
however you want to say it.
sur la table.
I speak Japanese, not French.
I only speak 7 other languages, just not that one. But I'm sure that there's places like that for this product. Like I was thinking Sharper Image and those types of stores because it seems so unique. But my maybe online sales, I don't
But
know.
like $50, $49.99. I could see buying it as a gift at $49.99. It's unique enough for someone who has all the kitchen
That's why they
gadgets.
wanted them to lower the cost
Yes.
and to make a
That's-
cheaper version.
yeah.
So.
Oh shoot!
Oh shoot.
Yeah,
5 minutes.
I know. We got a really
Okay.
late start,
We
you guys,
are running so
we're
late.
sorry about
Yeah,
that.
we're having
So
way too much fun.
So in or out? Let's go around. I think we know where I am.
I'm just not that passionate about it. I don't love it all that much, so I'm not going to go in.
Okay. Constance?
I would, because I think this guy can execute for sure. You know, and that's why everyone started fighting him. You see, when they turn the tables, instead of like begging for money, they're like begging you to give you money, and that's what happened quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, I understand the logic for investing, but
And I am so out. What is this product for over $120?
$1.50.
Let's move on. So,
Dollar.
Angels and Tomboys. We had Mallory Madison and Viara, whose name I might be butchering, so I hope not. They're asking for only $55,000 for 20%. So basically, it's a body care line for teens, specifically the ages about 5 to 12, so preteens really, with body spray and lotion. And they came out, they did a dance.
How cute were they?
Adorable.
They were
Yeah,
adorable.
really cute.
But doesn't this exist? Like, isn't that what Bath and Body Works is?
Price point and packaging.
Yeah.
Did you see both?
Yeah.
A $12 price point for that packaging. Now, she talked about it being vegan, gluten-free.
I didn't. That doesn't make that
Right.
much sense.
It's not
I-
reflected in the packaging, I didn't think. Do you know what I mean?
Reflected in the packaging. I didn't think it was even really necessary because I mean that's such a niche. I mean it could be because you're marketing to all kids, or you want the kids to be turned on to it, not to that market segment of the vegan. I mean, it's a plus, but I don't think that's the big selling point. I don't know.
No, and I think that they were just using that to indicate the higher market aspect of it.
Okay.
That it's not just your usual chemical mix that you get. 'Cause
Right.
those little sprays, they're like 99 cents in CVS. You could run and get for $2.99 a pretty cute little. I could get it for
Right.
my little niece
But like-
yesterday, but for $12.
But that's what like Bath
gonna
and
be-
Body
yeah.
Works is. At least that's how I remember it from when I
But
was
Bath and
younger.
Body Works is, it's marketed to adults. And this is packaged,
It never
marketed
used to be.
Really?
No, that's a teenage store.
Think of
Adults don't
think
shop
of like
there.
shampoos and stuff like that for the bathtub. They've got like Mickey Mouse ears on the bottles and stuff
Right.
like that. I'm thinking
Yeah,
those
Bath
types
and
of
Body Works is a teenage store.
really.
Yeah,
Now
with
this
all
is
the
going
scents and everything.
5 to
yeah.
12, so this is going
Slightly
under that,
under.
and it's really fun. And their branding was extraordinary. I thought
Right.
It was really great, especially their tagline.
Yes.
All girls are created equally.
Yes,
different.
I love
That was brilliant. And
Yeah.
these little girls came up
That
with
was
that.
Yeah.
really darn, and they were sassy as heck, and they're really
Yeah.
a big part of the company. But the price point and the packaging was really problematic for me because people can get away with, for instance, Sephora. We never thought 10 years ago that you would have an everyday woman going in and getting a $50 foundation when in the past you would go to drugstores and you would get a CoverGirl for $6.99. And now it's mainstream that you'd go from $6.99 to $50. That's extraordinary,
Right,
isn't
right,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sephora created a whole category
Yes.
that's now mainstreamed.
Very true.
Fascinating.
And like Starbucks
I get
and
it.
coffee.
It makes sense why people would do that. I mean, because your face is everything. But no, it really is. I mean, it's like if you're going to be wearing
Isn't it
makeup.
interesting, though?
And
Yeah.
so, just in the interest of time, so
Oh, right.
in the end,
Their smells
they-
were great. Watermelon funk,
Loved
frozen hot chocolate, and lemonade donuts.
I know, I
How
loved
cool is
that.
It made me want to eat. They did wind up getting an offer from Damon, who was the only one.
Yeah.
He said that he's really struggling with it. He felt like that it would need to be marketed in a big way. That was the real issue. But he said he'd do the deal with Mark. So in the end, they did
Right.
$60,000 for 33.3%, a third of the company. They did take the deal. Did you think that was a good deal?
It was a great deal.
Yeah.
I thought it was
for
a
the-
great
for the
deal.
family, yeah.
Especially the power behind those two together. They're
Yeah.
going to be a success.
Yeah.
So would you have been in or out?
If it, just from a heart space, I'd probably go in like they did. They weren't doing it because it's going to be a lot of work for them,
Yeah.
and they're carving out a new niche and a new market. But I'd say yeah, and I think that's why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the same sense that it was done from a more of a heart space. They really liked, they were charmed by
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I
Yeah.
think that they were charmed. If I weren't going from a heart space, I would say I'm out.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I would be out, absolutely.
And so we've just got a really quick update before we wrap it up. And of course, you guys, you can always find us on iTunes. You can find us on YouTube where you can rate us and leave reviews and talk to us. So the update was from season 6. It was the Natural Grip. It was a weightlifting glove alternative. And they said that since Beyond the Tank, they'd increased sales staff and went from 178,000 to 1.5 million. So
It's
Nice.
fantastic.
That's our update,
We're seeing a lot of real big wins with companies that are doing this, so
Yeah.
it's neat.
it is. It is, and 1.5 million is not a bad return
Nothing
on
to
your Shark
shake a
Tank
stick at.
investment.
Yeah.
It is. It's wonderful to see people's dreams happen in this way. So it's one of the things I love so much about this show.
Well, again, and I bet we'll have another great episode next week. Presumably, Cam will be back with us. He won't be eaten by the
He
shark.
won't be eaten by the shark.
He will be back.
We were going to guess where Cam is tonight, but we're not going to. We're gonna do that for you.
And so, Constance, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Instagram, Constance Dunn, and you can find me at Twitter at Constance Dunn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Chris Howard Live.
And I'm Zoe Hewitt. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's Zoe Said What. You can also find me on YouTube at Zoe Hewitt Hosting, where I do a weekly movie analysis show. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight for Shark Tank, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Fantasy Stats Guru.
Yes.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.